Hey, this is Notser, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game in my Friesland. This is the Tier 9 Pan-European Destroyer that's from the Netherlands. And it's going to do a lot of Dakka in this game, and hopefully you guys enjoy a lot of Dakka, because that's what you're getting. It's a DD that doesn't have torpedoes, so it has unique situations where it doesn't have the other option that so many other DDs do. So this game ended up being pretty awesome. Now, as far as my build is concerned, it's pretty much all gun all the time, since there is no torpedoes whatsoever to enhance. We go main armament, protection, extended duration hydro, improved gun accuracy, faster rudder shift, concealment, better rate of fire. For the commander, we have incoming fire alert, preventative maintenance, last stand, survivability expert, concealment, radiolocation, and adrenaline rush. Plus, we also pick up the main battery plus AA as our last 3-point skill. This is a full 21, of course. I'm using the legendary commander that I have assigned to my Holland, and it's going to work out pretty well, I think. Because of the way I have spec'd my commander, he is always gun. He's always focused on gun, and even if I was playing a torpedo boat, I still am primarily a gun-focused playstyle for these guys. I feel like the Pan-Europeans do a great job of chipping people down, and we had this position set up at C point. We were being contested by, of course, an enemy, and we spotted the Jutland. I was trying to get close enough so I could use my hydro. It's not quite as strong as the 52. The Z-52's hydro at 6 kilometer. But it works well enough that you can be a little bit of a bully when it comes to contesting caps. And even if we can't capture the base, I'm still actively contesting. And this is one area on the map that I really enjoy. There's a lot of large islands that you can fire over. And if, for whatever reason, an aircraft carrier does come over here, I can decide for myself if I want to escape north or escape west. Either way, it's honestly not that bad, because both have some solid cover for protecting themselves or distance. Now my teammate, they're taking pretty good damage. I do want to get out of the smoke so I can spot. It is important to do that, but I'm also aware that the enemy is definitely attempting to stop our play. And of course, that's exactly what the Jutland does. He decides that he is going to continuously contest the base. So I have to decide for myself, hey, do I want to try and continue to try and get the base? We are contested. We know that there's an enemy within the base capture. My hydro's nearly done. It's probably a big risk to stay, but we do catch a break. The enemy Jutland, he bails just barely. But we do actually catch him firing his gun, and I am attempting, while it didn't work out, I was attempting to jump back into my smoke to drop off detection. The enemy Jutland, though, he decides to do it himself, so, you know, that's cool. However, hydro is not up anymore. It is down and it's on cooldown, so I can't aggressively push this guy. But he does give up on the base, and we do capture it. So that is something that's worth my time invested over here. Now, enemy Smolensk, he's kind of unhealthy, he's kind of healthy, and oh gosh, this guy, he just keeps doing this. He just keeps trying to contest the base, and all I want to do is get rid of him. Rid him of his evil, as he is, of course, the red team. So I decide to chip away at his last known fire position, and up, there he is! And we're just gonna chain fire this guy. He's obviously going to try and return fire, but we're going to angle and adjust our fire, our heading, just slightly to throw off his shots. It seems to be good damage. Come on, teammates. And, of course, we get ourselves just a little bit too close to the island, so we can't actually finish this guy off. And we do have direct line of sight on the Smolensk and another DD, so I'm not exactly where I want to be. We didn't account for this, and because of that, I decided to disengage. I could have stayed and farmed a little bit more down, maybe gotten a kill, but I would have taken way more damage than I ultimately took. And, you know, that could lead to my team losing. That decision to leave the Jutland alive versus, you know, keep the amount of health could end up costing the game. It's little things like that that I try and exploit the advantage that I have in the moment, because I can't guarantee that I'll ever get that advantage the rest of the match. So notice that guy's smoking. Most likely it's the Jutland. And I could potentially try and push forward. I do have Hydro. I do have Smoke Up. Both of them are going to allow me to be aggressive. I would love for this guy just to cave and die so I can move on, because the longer I'm engaged with one person, the more my teammates will find themselves at the bottom. And it's just a clock in your mind, man. You got to keep up the tempo, otherwise they're going to overwhelm your teammates. So as we push south into the Jutland, I am surprised by the amount of distance that I need to cover to even spot him. That would tell me that the Jutland decided to pull back really hard and aggressive, and we are spotted, but he's still pulling back, so he's doing a good job. The enemy Jutland is sitting in between detecting my ship, which is 6.4, and his ship's detection, which I think it's 6 kilometers. He has a slight advantage, and because of that advantage, we need to disengage. And of course, since we didn't fire our gun, we don't have to spend too much time trying to have it recover. It's frustrating, though. I wanted to take that guy out. Teammates did push forward. Hopefully they work on the Smolensk. He is the closest spotted cruiser, which is very low. And yes, good job, Massachusetts. Unfortunately, the Jutland took out a teammate. The reason we're here, to try and screen for this guy and teammates around for torpedoes and knock out the guy. So, you know, I was disappointed because obviously I'm the person here that has the best chance of protecting him. But I couldn't do that because he gave so much ground. And before I had a chance to come back and provide that kind of support for my teammate, he got knocked out. So we're down by 2 ships, but we have 2 bases over theirs. So as long as we sit here for a while and maintain this capture, it won't matter. And then we can potentially make up those ship kills. Now, the Friesland, it's an interesting ship. It obviously doesn't have torps, and I would love torps. And ooh, did you see that? Did you see that? Enemy Jutland aggressively pulled a attempt to push into this base, and I just barely clipped him as I went around this island. Instead of continuing around the island, I am attempting to throw off his game. I want to try and bait him into a position where I can kill him. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is to see if he will attempt to capture. Now, I don't know why he would attempt to capture. Knowing that he saw me, he could expect that I have a position of, you know, obviously dominance because I have the island. And that would be the right choice, but he wanted to push it. So because he pushed it, I'm going to use my Hydro, and oh, looky there. We've got 2 enemy rodents all ready to line up. Enemy gearing, pop my smoke. I don't want to give him anything, and he's actually got Bumblebee firing off his guns, which Bumblebee looks cool. Firing some AP on the broadside. It works well enough. Once he angles, though, you need to switch back to HE. And we're hopefully going to finish this guy off before he retreats completely outside of the Hydro. He does actually fire his gun, so he can't hide himself. He's just going to go down, and we switch back to AP, finish off the target. Enemy aircraft carriers incoming. The Friesland excels at shooting down air. Obviously, you would need to be in direct AA line of sight to do that. But, you know, eventually we work our way past, and our AA opens up, and it does massive amount of damage very quickly. I really like doing the layered defensive AA, then priority, always angle, disengage, play with your throttle, make it as hard as possible for that aircraft carrier to do anything to you. Enemy Jutland, he's trying to retreat. I'm trying to get some shots on him. Teammate takes out the target. And we need more kills. And it's, you know, we just have to fire. There's a lot of battleships and not a lot of time left in the game. And, you know, if we can manage to get kills and maybe maintain 2 base, we could easily win this game. So obviously I use my smoke, so I can't use that. Next best thing, island of course, and we reposition near the closest island with our teammate keeping him spotted, and we are just providing that Dakka. Give me all that Dakka. And we're looking for as many fires as we can get. Now, my shells will not pin the bow or the stern, but they can set a fire. And as long as I know he can't put all the fires out, it's in my best interest to move my shell around so we can get some dot damage on him. Finally, he decides to use his damage control, which for you, if you're not familiar, in the most recent patch, they introduced a bunch of animation changes, and you can see the smokiness. That means that it's under damage control immunity, so you can't set a fire. But once the smokiness goes away, then we can relight a fire just as we did before, and of course that's exactly what we're doing. I'm looking for as many fires as I can. Please give me a fire on this superstructure. Please. There is no fire on the superstructure. Oh, it's so annoying when this happens like this. You know, we're stuck doing this, but our teammate needs it. So as long as he's not interested in shooting at us, then it doesn't really matter that we're in line of sight. We get confirmation that once again he does fire at our teammate, and once again it does look like he put out the fire. But that's okay, because we're going to get nice and lucky with everything. Easy location of all those shells. Get a fire on his nose, fire on his super, and we get some shells on his superstructure as well, and see you later, Yamato. Teammate's still alive, which is good, and my teammates need to try and wear down any target that's somewhat close. I don't really have a shot on the Heisen, or what is it, the Heisen? Anyway, the Heisen, I don't have a shot on him, but I do have a shot on the Massachusetts. Now, because the Heisen is out of line of sight, and of course enemy air comes, we're just going to activate our AA and do as much damage as we can. Very quickly, the Friesland excels at AA. Since the other enemy battleship is too far away, we can freely farm because the only target that is within range is behind an island, a solid piece of cover. So this is free damage from him. I'm not risking my life. I'm only assisting in damage output that could keep my teammate alive. The Massachusetts does not have fire prevention. He's only got 1 fire. We're looking for a second one on his superstructure. When we finally get it, we'll see if he puts it out with damage control. Just actively checking my teammate's health. Just seeing how far and how hard I need to go. Enterprise takes out the North Carolina. Fantastic play there. We're doing really great against the Massachusetts. Unfortunately, though, the Massachusetts just took out the friendly Kremlin. So that's going to make this a lot harder. We're going to have to compromise our health and safety to try and get some kills on these guys. Otherwise, they'll probably do a slow push for C, and they'll be too healthy, and I'll have to deal with too many of them that I can't overcome it. Now, we did get fortunate. We did get a fire, and we're up to 14 fires. We don't have anything else, you know. That's all we've got. He's got 1 fire on his stern, 1 fire on his superstructure. He can have another 2 fires on his superstructure now. And he's pretty much dead. There's not really a chance for him to live, which is great. Now, I did activate my smoke, hoping that the aircraft carrier would do exactly what he's doing, provide that spotting assistance, so I can just free farm for a while on this enemy battleship. Enemy aircraft carriers on the other side of the map. We've got a friendly that's going up against an enemy cruiser. I think that's a Goliath. He's not in range of my guns, and honestly, I can't afford to go after him right now. We just have to deal with this person right here. And whatever is going to happen after this, you know, that's just the nature of the game. Get 2 fires, gets a torpedo hit, and then the player uses damage control. We got to wait out the damage control. You wait for that little smokiness. And then there you go. Once again, he can be relit. No aircraft carrier is spotting. So I'm just kind of blind firing this, hoping to get whatever. We get Wither, we get Confederate. We kind of track where he is located. The enemy aircraft carrier shows himself for half a second. And oh yes, the Goliath. He takes out the friendly. I think the friendly was perfectly broadside to him. They want me to reset, so I understand that. All I have to do is obviously hit him with my shells. And we're trying to take him out quickly, knowing that he could potentially be using hydroacoustic, and he still had AP. Interesting. AP is not very good on the Goliath, so that was a compromise that he made. He would normally load HE, and thankfully he only had AP for that broadside. But as you can see, enemy battleships closing in on the other side, and I don't know how quickly I can kill this guy. I'm trying desperately to place the shells and get as much fire as we can. Since he's broadside, switch to AP, trying to knock him out, but oh my goodness. So frustrating. So frustrating, because we're just trying to shoot every problem that we have. We have 20 seconds left to take out the battleship. We don't have any torpedoes. Could you imagine if this was a small end? He wouldn't have smoke, of course, but he would have torpedoes. If I had torps, these guys wouldn't do this, but of course, if I had torpedoes, they wouldn't push into me. They would know better. So we're just locating on the super, trying to get fires on any position that we can. You can pretty much guarantee it. Obviously, the nose doesn't do damage, but oh my goodness, we just have so many issues that we have to work through. And I'm just trying desperately to kill him before he switches his gun focus to me. Friendly aircraft carriers getting hunted down by that Goliath, and we're all that's left. We do set tons of fires continuously, and the aircraft carrier, of course, is attacking us. But most likely this guy has high explosive loaded, and honestly, his AP doesn't matter. His AP did tons and tons of damage. I'm desperately trying to AP this guy in the broadside. Not enough secondaries make contact, and that was that game. Boy, that was a really entertaining game in the Friesland from my point of view. Very contested the entire time. Really enjoyed doing that. I love just spawning on a flank and dealing with whatever problem happens. You know, whether it's a huge lemming train or otherwise. We farmed 238,000 damage, 3 kills, all those medals. It was great. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. If you dislike the video. You can subscribe. I do World of Warship videos, first impression, how-to, news, and review. My North American recruit invite is on the screen. You can take advantage of that. 2.2 base XP and a loss. Would have been easily 3K. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.